Whatever. It's a work in. They know it's a work in progress.
I think the people aren't going to be like too. The clientele.
Yeah. The P fans. They're used to our minimal effort in production. Yeah.
Having perused your material, we start. Do we go straight for the face?
Yeah, we can do that.
We can do that.
Well, we have to start with the guns. And then,
Okay, walk me through this.
no, we don't. Yeah, we're recording. We don't really have a process. We just kind of go at it. Is that your pen? Where did that come from? Welcome to the P Boiz.
Welcome.
Very special episode today.
Howdy.
Filmmaker, podcaster.
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves is here.
He's here in studio.
Guys wish.
No, we would never have him. We wouldn't betray.
He's
you
probably
as
a
our Keanu.
Fed.
I appreciate that.
Keanu, so can you explain your name?
Yeah. 5 letters, a Hawaiian word, translates to cool breeze over a mountaintop.
Oh, okay. No,
Really?
like
What was it called?
That's a nice name.
Your full. Is that your middle name or?
No, so I have a double barrel last name.
Okay.
So it's Keanu Sousa Mendes.
Okay.
It's
Keanu Sousa Mendes.
Portuguese.
Well,
So
the
you're
last name's Portuguese. The first
Oh.
name's Hawaiian.
What are you?
Yeah, what's your
ethnically?
ethnicity?
Good question.
Oh no.
The mix of
Getting deep.
things.
I was born in South Africa. I
Like
am the
Elon.
pretty much. But I am the descendant of Portuguese immigrants.
Okay.
Portuguese via, because I was like, this is not Australian. Every time I hear a South African accent, I'm like,
It's
Yeah,
close,
you
but
kind
not
of sound
quite.
like Elon. Now I think about it.
Do I sound like Elon?
yeah, are you gonna put chips in our brains
Yeah.
at the end of this podcast?
Are you gonna Heil Hitler on this podcast?
I don't know. I know he recently had a breakup with Trump, and that was pretty.
Did he really?
Yeah.
I didn't know about that.
I think he's only allowed 130 days of service. I think that was kind of the contract they were under. And then he left his position as Doge, the Doge, like Emperor or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And then
Supreme Doge.
Yeah, Supreme Doge.
Uh-huh.
And then I believe, and I can be quoted wrong, I think he tweeted that he was really upset about the new spending bill because it's going to like raise the national debt by like $2 trillion or something. And that went against everything Doge, did.
Yeah.
They saved $2 trillion for then supposedly
Spent it on something else.
It seems that's the case.
Yeah.
I mean, Elon like tweeted that he was pretty upset about it, and I was like, "Oh,
It's
brother."
almost like the government
guy.
has a
Ulterior
spending
motive.
a spending habit. you
Sounds like
know?
my wife. Am I right?
Hey, bah, 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 bah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a double barrel last name. It's
All right.
Portuguese. I got the name from Keanu Reeves, obviously.
Really?
I
Okay.
was a big fan.
No way.
Really?
Specifically, the movie Speed.
Mm.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Is that where your love of movies and filmmaking originated?
Oh, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Oh.
That was the first movie you fell in love with? Was
Well, I was a
Jurassic Park?
dinosaur kid.
Oh.
Well, we were all. I feel like everyone was. a
Yeah, at this
dinosaur
point,
kid.
I'm like, who wasn't
Yeah.
a
Right,
dinosaur kid?
yeah.
Although I'm not gonna lie, dude. It's hard when you see children today, like my nieces, nephews, etc., cousins. A lot of them are not as fixated on dinosaurs.
They don't fuck with dinosaurs anymore.
What's the reason for that,
Fucking
Majari?
Kids these days.
Is it just the
huh?
internet, man? Like,
No, I think Majari has an explanation for that.
Well, the thing is, dinosaurs are a conspiracy.
Right.
They're a conspiracy.
Obviously.
Orchestrated. All dinosaurs were feds, actually.
they were all
And
They're not real.
Dinosaurs aren't
T-Rex is
real.
a plant.
Yeah.
Yes,
T-Rex.
T-Rex was a plant.
Right.
A plant. I'm acquiring the accent.
It rubs off
Yeah.
on people.
Right. So there's your explanation. Dinosaurs were never real in the.
Yeah, they were never here.
But I mean, that's the movie that kind of like started it for me. You love dinosaurs. You watch that. You're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
They're like, there they are.
They made them real.
real, eh?
Yeah.
And then as a kid, you're just fascinated.
Right.
And I had the DVD set. That's how I watched it. I watched on the DVD set.
Okay.
So then I watched, I believe the 4th disc is all the special features.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, oh, dude, they got me. Like that T-Rex doesn't have legs. It's like
Yeah.
on a crane. I'm like, these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
I never saw that. I still think that the T-Rex was real.
You never saw Jurassic Park or the behind the scenes?
But the behind the scenes.
Okay.
I saw Jurassic Park many times.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fascinating. It's always fascinating to see how filmmakers problem solve that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So what's interesting about the T-Rex specifically,
Uh-huh.
they had it on a crane.
Uh-huh.
They built the whole torso and like the head and neck.
Yeah.
It articulates. It looks sick. The jaw moves. But they wanted to shoot those scenes. I think Spielberg specifically wanted to shoot the car sequence where the T-Rex is introduced for the first time. It's a night shoot. It's raining, right? The rain's meant to add to the atmosphere. It gives texture. You see that rain hitting the T-Rex, you're like, oh, dude, that's a real thing. And the problem is, I believe they had this issue where the water of the rain was getting absorbed into the T-Rex's like skin, which is made out of foam. Like a very I want to say like a rubbery foam is what it was. So the T-Rex starts shivering because of the weight and the mechanisms trying to move. So it almost felt, they said on set, as if the T-Rex was cold because it was like, you know, it's very strange. I think that's sick, dude.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
So I mean, as a kid, I see that, I'm like, oh shit, you can do this for a living. How do I do this? And then I'm like, man, I wish, looking back now, maybe they should have put me like, I should have watched a plumbing movie or something.
Yeah, probably. Plumbing instruction.
Something that would have a bit more bang for my buck.
You should have watched Cable Guy by the Jim Carrey classic. And then you could have done that.
Something that wasn't as delusional as trying to become a filmmaker. Although, you know, I'm proud of all the stuff that I've done. You know, I'm just not at that tier quite yet.
Sure. Well, you know, we're happy that you're not too famous to be on our podcast.
No, it's, I mean, fame is so, dude, that's the odd one. I mean, I'm flattered to be. I was flattered to be invited. Thank you. I'm not quite sure what sparked the invite. You're like, this dude, we have to speak to this guy.
We gotta learn more about Keanu, about his name specifically. That's why I wanted you on the podcast.
It's like, you have to come here, drive 40 minutes, just to tell me about.
I need to know about the name.
A phone call will not suffice.
No. We need to know about the name.
But I mean, if there's any other questions in the name, that's pretty much it.
No, it was just one of my classic bits.
Bits? Yeah, but I'm curious about comedy. I'd love to know more about. Well, you said you took a break, came back in 2019, right?
Yeah, so I started back in college, and then I took a job in Miami, and so I left, and I was gone for a couple
Coke dealer.
I was a big, huge Coke dealer in Miami. And then I was like, you know, I think I'm done dealing Coke.
Right. After that hooker died.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, all of them.
Before all the, after all the hookers died.
What's true and what's not.
How many was there?
It was, you know, I don't want the feds to
find that's out, a good point.
You know? We're just trying to publish this.
Izzy got the feds watching us now, so we got to be careful.
So I did that. So I was gone for a couple of years, and then moved back to Michigan, and decided to get back into comedy. Decided to like really like stick with it and be consistent and all that, because I was kind of like, you know, dabbling before. But since 2019, I've been pretty consistent about trying to write and get on stage and do all that kind of stuff. So, and this podcast was just like the perfect next opportunity for me to kind of like diversify it a little bit and not just be like a local, like a performer, but like try to get on the internet and explore this this medium of expression, if you will, you know, because I think it lends itself to comedians in many ways. And just, you know, having interesting conversations, see what happens, and having fun with it.
Is that what happened for you, Joe? Pretty much the same thing? Did you start comedy, and then you were like, I got to make a podcast?
I think I started doing stand-up and the podcast around the same time. Because it was stand-up was always something I wanted to do, but filmmaking, that was like my kind of end goal. And so I was like making sketches with friends and shit and like putting stuff out on YouTube. But it was just a lot easier to put out a weekly podcast than it is to like write something and get people to come to a place. And especially if you're not paying them, it's just like, this is a easier option to do consistently, to like build a fan base and then put shit out and try and, you know, get something.
I mean, 5 years, dude. What is the fan base like right now?
Well, it's
Mom,
also
not great.
We love the fact that you're watching, Mom.
Oh, no, she doesn't watch. She does not watch.
My understanding, the podcast has evolved quite a bit.
It's changed a lot. I mean, it's like, it started in my parents' basement, and then we went to a storage unit and started having like local comics come on and like shoot the shit. And then we were like talking about movies. Like every episode we would like watch a movie and talk about it. But then I just wanted to strip that back, just do like a standard like comedy podcast. And that's been what's been like working and sticking, and people enjoy this version of it the most. So this is kind of what we've been sticking with ever since.
Now, for someone who's like interested in comedy, because I listen to a lot of comedians.
Okay.
I think we all listen to the same comedians, right? The same podcasts. And
Probably. Who do you listen to?
Joe Rogan, Bert Kreischer, Tom Segura. You know,
The usual suspects.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Your Mama's House. You know, that's a good one. Run
Yeah.
by Tom Segura. Two Bears.
Right.
That's the Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura.
Sure.
I'm not a big Bert Kreischer fan, but I
Really?
Yeah.
That's my favorite comedian.
really.
Yeah, it's
Your
actually.
favorite?
Well, I found his material when I was in high school. I was an art student. I went to an arts high school.
Okay.
And I would do all my art finals until like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. It would just be me drawing. And so I would get bored listening to just music. I would try and like listen to, at the time, I didn't know what a podcast was. So I would listen to stand-up comedy, and I would listen to tons of stand-up comedy, right?
Interesting.
And I found Bert Kreischer. It was in like one of my recommended. I saw this fat white dude with no shirt.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Sure.
so curious.
Yeah.
And then it was the whole machine bit.
Machine story. Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, dude, this is amazing. And then slowly, once I got more acquainted with podcasting, I got to hear more of him. I was like, oh, I know why this guy's my favorite.
Really? Okay.
He's the most, this is the dude, if you went to a house party, if you went anywhere, like just some kind of like club or something,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the dude you bump into you'll never forget for the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
He's just
Yeah.
so himself.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, I love it. I mean, I love most comedians. Bill Burr, all those guys are great.
I actually recently found out on this podcast that Bert Kreischer was the inspiration for Van Wilder.
Pretty wild.
So you
right?
knew about that?
Yeah.
Okay. That blew my mind.
Yeah, we did a comedian rank list. It's actually over there. Bert Kreischer, we all ranked him at a D or a E. So yeah, he was fairly low on the list.
I didn't say he was the best.
Yeah.
I still think the
Okay.
best comedian, probably for me, my biased opinion, is Dave Chappelle.
Okay.
Yeah, he's my top dog.
I just think anything he does, he can just make so laughable. It's
Sure.
kind of odd.
Chappelle does?
Yeah.
Yeah, just the way he holds a cigarette.
Yeah.
He does. I'm like, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, no, he's...
I think that's fair. Sorry, Bert, if you're listening to this, I put you to D2. But you're still
he
my
listens.
favorite.
Yeah.
You know, I can watch Bert talk about it. Dude, he has a whole bit about his daughter getting her period, and he bought her a red velvet cake, and they had a period party. And
That's pretty insane.
And they invited all the boys from her class to the.
Oh,
I'm like,
man.
dude, that's fucking hilarious.
that is
Pretty wild.
it's pretty Bert Kreischer-y.
Yeah.
Only a
that's
comedian would do that to
Yeah.
their fucking daughter, you know?
Apparently, she was into it, dude. She was like having
Oh,
a good
okay.
time.
All right. Well, that sounds
I
like
like the
Bert
sound of that.
Kreischer's daughter.
Yeah.
You know? If he's your dad, you know, you better have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
But-
Period.
So I mean, okay, in terms of how you guys got started, what was the thing that made you want to try comedy? Was it like a comedian you watched? Like, what got that spark?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, I started listening to comedy when I was a kid, and I was just blown away that I could laugh so hard at somebody just talking, you know? I think some of the first CDs or whatever that I started listening to were like Jerry Seinfeld, Jackie Mason, and then on Comedy Central, Jim Gaffigan was one of the first people that his Comedy Central Presents. I thought that was one of the funniest
Funny
things
guy.
I've ever seen. And ironically, I saw Jim Gaffigan on Comedy Central Presents, thought it was hilarious. Then the next one I saw was Louis C.K., and I thought that he was horrible.
What? You
And
thought
I-
Louis was bad?
Well, first of all, I was in like 8th grade,
Fair.
and this was before he like really blew up, right? And I don't know if that special, I don't even know if you could call that a special, probably wasn't even that good. Once I was in college, all my friends were like raving about Louis C.K., and I had this in my head that I was like, he kind of sucks. Once I started listening to him in college, basically since then, he's been, between him and Chappelle, my two favorite comedians. So I've always been a huge fan of comedy, and once I got to college, and I would always kind of like think about like, oh, maybe I'll try it one day, you know? I didn't think that I necessarily would, but my last year in college, me and a buddy of mine were talking about it, and we were both studying psychology, and we were both learning about how like, oh, you're supposed to try things that scare you, right? As a like almost like a personal growth kind of a thing. And I'm like, well, getting on stage and doing comedy is pretty fucking scary. So we just did that. So I just started writing, and then he found a place in Ann Arbor where we were going to school, and he just put our names down for the open mic, and that was it. That was the first time I got on stage.
Did you bomb or did you kill?
I actually did really well for a first time performance. I wouldn't say I killed. You know, you can like hear the fear in my voice a little bit, but
the room wasn't silent.
No, the room wasn't silent. I mean, I got laughs at all the where I was supposed to. You know, my delivery was good enough for a beginner. You know, it was. It went very well.
I bet you felt alive, dog.
I couldn't sleep that night. I was like buzzing. Could not fall asleep.
So much better than Miami Coke.
Yeah. Well, this was before Miami
pre-Coke,
Coke.
yeah.
I hadn't done Coke yet.
This is gonna be so much better than Miami Coke.
Right. Yeah. I'm not even gonna need to do Coke, even though maybe I will.
Yeah.
And you, Joe, what does that spark? The catalyst?
I don't really remember. It was much like
Heartbreak.
Matt. No, I always enjoyed stand-up comedy, like Dave Chappelle, Louis C.K., John Mulaney, like Hannibal Buress. I was a big fan of all those guys. Listened to a lot of comedy podcasts, like high school and college, and I was just always trying to go to open mics, but the only one I knew about was at Mark Ridley's, and I would never get selected to do it. For maybe like a year and a half, I was trying to get selected. I never got on there. And then finally, I did some research for like other open mics, and then I found a New Way in Ferndale, and started going to that one.
That's the first one you did was New Way Bar?
Yeah.
How old are you?
21.
How'd it go?
Not bad. Much like Matt, New Way is not like a good environment for comedy. It's been like one of the longest running open mics, but it's a horrible environment for comedy because there's like the bar on one side, people talking, like TV,
pool table in the back.
The entire audience is just other comics waiting to go up. They could give less of a fuck about you.
New Way is a tough place for your first time getting on stage.
Yeah, but it in a lot of ways it's like the perfect place for your first time because
Trial by combat.
yeah, just fucking like, you know, I didn't bomb, but I didn't do like incredible. It was just like serviceable. I think some people afterwards like asked me if it was my first time, and I was like, yeah, and they were like, yeah, it's not bad for your first time, and I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's good. And then yeah, I mean, it's been a fairly consistent since then, taken some breaks and stopped it sometimes, and been more consistent than like I am right now, but you know, just it ebbs and flows with the stand-up scene.
Do you guys remember your first bombs?
Yeah, my second time on stage.
Why is that? Why did you bomb the second time you were on stage, Matt?
Do you know the story?
I know. Yeah. Was there a certain thing you said?
Yeah, there was a certain word that I said that you're really not supposed to say.
Bro.
But Louis C.K. said it. He had a whole
That's
bit
not
about
defense.
it. And I was like, well, if he can say it, then
Your
I can.
Honor, OJ killed. I don't understand. He was acquitted.
So, yeah. I did. Yeah, I bombed pretty bad my second time
Because
on
of the
stage.
word or just...
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It was going really well up until that point.
Yeah.
Like, it was going very well. And then I was like, I can say whatever I want. I was quoting Biggie Smalls.
Oh, okay, I know what's going on now.
And then, I just like kept going with the quote. And then everyone was like, oh. And I was like, oh, fuck. And that was obviously very uncomfortable.
What year was this?
What year was it? I think 2012.
Yeah, no, you were fucked up.
Yeah. No, I shouldn't have said it.
What was anyone that I would know there?
Pre-2010, you're still probably all right.
2012, who might have even been there? I didn't know. I was so new to I didn't like know
that's
anybody
fair.
there.
Yeah.
Although I do remember Brad Wenzel was up and coming. He might have even been on the lineup. He was the only one I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember anyone from my first time except for the host, Amit, and he doesn't do stand-up anymore. So.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Oh, no.
Yeah, he was a dick, so I don't know.
He was a nice guy off stage, just an awful open mic host.
Yeah. What makes someone an awful open mic host?
Because he would get on stage and just be up there for like 40 minutes like yelling at the audience about how he doesn't even want to be up
just
there.
Complain about like
about the fact that he was hosting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just like not get anybody laughing, and it wasn't. And then eventually he would just call someone, and then he would do so much time in between. And that was the worst job you could do as a host. As a host, your job to get up there and like get the energy going, get some laughs going. And he would do the complete opposite and just make all the comics wait a really long time to get up there.
He doesn't sound like a good dude.
No. But then, I mean, you talked to him off stage. He was actually, he was kind of cool. You know, he wasn't too bad. But I just everyone hated him as a host.
How do you keep becoming a host?
you just go to a place and decide you're going to become a host.
You find a bar and you say, hey, I want to put together an open mic here every Tuesday night. And they'll usually pay you because you're supposed to bring people.
Yeah.
I don't know if he started the open mic.
Yeah, I don't know if he started
I don't think
it.
he did. I have no idea. My knowledge of the scene doesn't go back
There's like
that
an
far.
honor system of one person will host an open mic, and that's like their space. And then if they quit, someone can come in and take it over or
pass it along.
pass
Or
it
someone
off
can
or-
like host it this week or whatever. You know what I mean?
they can like tag people in, but
Yeah.
it's for the most part like every spot has like one designated host.
Yeah. Once you find a room and set it up, like it's kind of your territory.
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know.
Are you thinking about dabbling into comedy?
Yeah. Have you ever gotten on stage?
So the first time I ever did stand up, or what I would say is kind of the closest thing to stand up, my buddy Isaiah Jacob, shout out to Isaiah if he watches this, shots fired. His folks have like this church facility where they do like, I don't know how to explain it, dude. It's just filled with stuff for like auction or like think of like a Value World, but inside like an old church.
Okay.
Old clothes, furniture, that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
A garage sale in a building.
Okay.
And him, while he was growing up, his folks would allow him and his high school friend group to crash there overnight. And they would just play like Nerf battles and all kinds of like stupid shit. They would break stuff as well. These kids were crazy.
Nice.
And I met him because we was working at the same movie theater for a bit. And he invited me to go there one day. And I went there. And they had a speaker, just like one speaker on the stage of this like rundown church building, and they had one microphone. And the kids would like run up and they'd grab the microphone, they'd go, penis, and then they would just run out.
Classic.
Hilarious. It killed every time.
Yeah.
It killed every time.
Yeah,
Maybe I should
the best
try
bit.
that.
Saying penis.
And I was like, okay.
Penis.
But I grabbed the mic and I started talking to the kids who were still awake and conscious, and not the ones in the sugar coma to the left.
Sure.
I started telling stories, and people were listening and having a good time. And I was like, okay, I enjoy this. This is like just telling a story.
Yeah.
I can't say it was like super funny or anything, but a couple giggles and just the attention. I was like, oh, they're paying attention.
Yeah.
That's a good sign. Then I went through this pretty wild breakup, and when I got back, I was trying to process the story. I was in Europe. I got my heart broken in Europe, and I was like, okay, I have this crazy story of this breakup, and I don't want to tell anyone, like my friends and family, because I was like, everyone knows the girl. Like, it's just, I wanted to keep it as civil and as amicable as possible. But the story itself was pretty insane. So I was like, what am I going to do with this?
You're going to tell us the story right now on Paradizo.
P Boiz.
I mean, I
Stay tuned
can
for this
tell.
story.
I can tell it. But what I ended up doing is do you know what Moth is?
Moth.
Moth is an organization that does like live plays or like not play. It's like an open mic night, but you can come and tell stories.
Like a one-man show.
Sort of. So what they'll do is there'll be a topic, and the topic will be like enemies. That was the topic that I got.
Okay.
And then everyone goes up, kind of like an open mic night. Everyone signs up, and then you get a couple of minutes to tell a story about enemies that it relates to your life, or a story from your life that relates to the topic of enemies. So I went up, and I told this fun fact. Actually, I arrived just to listen. I had no intention of signing up because I was like, as soon as I got that chickened out, I was like, holy shit, what am I doing here? So I sit down next to these three ladies who happen to all be English teachers.
Ooh.
Like 5th grade, 6th grade English teachers.
That's hot.
And I'm sitting there and they're like, you have to go sign up.
Yeah.
Completely random. They have no idea who I am. I'm like, ladies, this is kind of odd. And they're like, no, we can tell you have a story. And I was like, it's like that kind of stuff. It's really weird.
They can smell it on you.
Yeah, it was
a
very
weird
strange.
woman thing they do.
Yeah.
So I walked over to the place. I signed. I just happened to be the last person who signed up. So they're like, cool, we have all our names. They shuffled us. I go up and I tell the story of the breakup. And I got a standing ovation at the end.
Wow.
And I was like...
Oh, you got a natural orator.
A complete, like, a whole room of strangers, right?
Yeah.
But I just told them this crazy thing that had just happened to me, this insane experience. And they loved it.
Nice.
I didn't win because I went overtime by like 2 minutes. And they ding you for that kind of stuff. So I was like,
Oh, it's a competition?
yeah, if you win that round,
Uh-huh.
you get selected to go to like a bigger event
Really?
with a new topic.
That's
Yeah.
interesting.
It's cool. I mean, it's like a monologue. That's kind of what they're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I did that, and those two experiences, I said to myself, I like storytelling. I can tell a story. I like when people laugh. I feel like it's a good way of seeing if someone's engaging with the story.
Sure.
Because that's a very natural impulse. Like kind of like what you said, Matt. You see someone use their voice and their mannerisms and their persona, and they're able to like summon joy out of an audience. Like there's something really harmonious about that.
Yeah.
Now, I have not tried like professional stand-up. I haven't done an open mic night. To be honest with you, I don't even know where you start with that kind of stuff.
Well, you could talk to us.
I go, well, I'm here.
You could start a New Way Bar.
Yeah, you got a new
Well, I was told New Way Bar is where you go to die.
Honestly, it's actually not as bad as it used to
Yeah.
be. It used to be a lot tougher. It used to be a lot louder. It's been not quite as many people showing up. So,
Yeah. No, it's a lot of fun. I've gone every Monday, like almost every Monday for the past like 3 or 4 years. So it's like,
So I forgot to mention this. My
Yeah.
favorite comedy or stand-up experience thus far, I just happened to talk one of my acting friends who lives in Georgia into trying comedy because he makes me laugh all the fucking time.
yeah.
We send each other voice notes and we phone all the time, and he'll say shit that just cracks me up, and I'm like, I'm not forcing this. I'm like, you're genuinely funny.
Yeah.
So, and he's had like ideas, like he's had ambition to try it. So I was like, all right,
fucking do
There you
it.
go.
push your buddy off the cliff.
Yeah.
And when he actually did he signed up for some classes and he loved it, and he went and he did an open mic thing in Georgia, and it went really well. And I was like, dude, he made Detroit jokes down there. It landed. So I was like, okay, this isn't kind of inspiring, the fact that we pushed this and like it kind of came to fruition. So he came up to visit, to go to a concert, and while he was here, went to his dad's house. His dad has a karaoke set up in his house. And so he plugged in the microphone. He started like just running some bits on me, and he was like feeling a little out of it. So I
Yeah.
grabbed the mic and I tell a story, and I tell the story of this time that I almost got murdered for pizza back in South Africa.
Jesus.
And
Sounds
he's-
about right.
Must have been some really good pizza.
Yeah.
it was actually pretty good pizza. And I tell the story, and his dad loved it. His
Yeah.
dad just like was laughing, and I was like, okay, this is good. So I spoke to him recently. I said, look, I would be down to try it. I just don't know the way to go about it. I have 2 friends in the Michigan comedy scene right now. One
Who are
is
they?
Noah Chapp.
Okay, sure.
Noah Chapp's a good buddy of mine. He's starred in one of my short films.
How do you know Noah Chapp?
He's big in like the acting world.
I
Locally.
did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm guessing you guys know.
Yeah.
Oh, we know Noah Chapp.
We know it very
Have you seen his stand-up?
It's amazing.
It's an
He- yeah.
experience.
Dude, it is the best.
He is one of the best in Detroit.
He's got a good
But when
little
you
stick
speak
going.
to Noah Chapp, Noah, if you're watching this, I love you, buddy. He is so awkward and
Yeah.
reserved,
Soft spoken. Yeah.
and sweet.
dude, just the most
Yeah.
genuine. Like no one will believe it when they watch his stand up.
Right.
But the
yeah.
heart of pure gold.
Yep.
Yeah. He
And when I
plays
met-
this character,
I had
it's like-
just got to the States. I'd just been here for about 4 or 5 months, and I went to the MPI auditions, and I met Noah. And Noah was like to himself. He had like really raggedy hair at the time.
I'm pretty sure he still does.
COVID had just started. No, he's cleaned up, but he had like
haven't seen him in a while.
he had raggedy hair and a big beard, and he was just talking to himself. He was walking back and forth, and I had this weird interaction. I was like, "Hey, how's it going?" He was like, I was like, okay,
Yeah.
actors. And then I carried on. And then when I became a student, we had to do our own auditions, and he came to those. And I was like, oh, dude, I think I have a role for this guy. So I wrote a role for him that was like a 1970s journalist.
Mm-hmm.
And I went up to Noah. I'm like, Noah, you are this guy. Like, I wrote this role for you. We discussed it. He liked it. He did it. And the whole time, I had no idea he was a comedian. So I hire him. I'm like, this dude fucking killed it. He was great in this film, right? He looks like the part. He played the part so well. I played the movie out. We put the trailer on like Instagram or something, Facebook. It was Facebook. He shares the trailer. Trailer gets 2,000 views. I'm like, what? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, where do you know these people? And then I go look at his Instagram, and there's like comedy clips. And I'm like, wait. You do stand up? And, you know, I try to speak to Noah. It's so hard to like pull things out. And he's like, yeah, like, try. I like comedy. Come on. And I'm like, God damn, Noah, tell me what's going on here. And I'm like, now I'm curious. So I go like watch clips of his comedy, and I'm like, this is dark.
It's very dark.
This is brutal.
The thing with Noah. Okay, so the first time you see Noah, it's hilarious. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
You're just dying. But then once you're like, oh, this is his shtick, he keeps doing that, then it becomes a game of just watching the audience
makes it better.
watch him for the first time. Then that becomes the show. And he does, I mean, he's always trying new stuff. He's kind of
he remixes
evolving within his own thing and coming up with new stuff. But I will say, when you see him bomb, it's brutal. You know what I mean?
So
Like,
I haven't seen him bomb because
I've seen him bomb once, and the audience is like,
Where did you see him bomb?
Detroit to L.A.
Really?
Yeah. And I was like, and everybody, like, Detroit to LA is a competition.
That's probably because
And-
everyone brought their families and like.
Yeah, it was. That's
not for kids,
mostly
bro.
it. Yeah, I thought that was part of it. But it was like they just weren't getting into it, and he was like, "This is the only thing I do." So he was just plowing through with his routine, and they just were having none of it. And like watching that routine to an audience that's not on board is painful. So. Yeah.
So I kind of wish I got to see that. No, not because I think.
What the fuck? Memory card full. I thought I cleared space.
Well, this is the same shot. So.
Yeah, that's fine.
Are we good? We cooking?
Yeah, we're good. It's just like memory card or whatever.
We are busting at the seams, folks.
Yeah.
No, I got to see him perform live only once. It was at Mark Ridley's Comedy Castle. There was some sort of competition.
It's probably just
But he killed. He won like money. He won like the night.
Oh, it might have been. Was this like
Recent.
in February?
Yeah.
It was that the
that a
film
Rumble
or the comedy roll or whatever that was.
Rumble?
Not the Rumble. It was I think it's called the comedy roll up or something like that.
I think
no
you know.
idea.
I think that's what it was.
Yeah. It's
was in
these
February.
two like filmmaker guys who like put them
Yes.
on, and then
yes,
I don't remember their names, but
it was like a gladiator match.
Yeah.
And they have judges, and then at the end, so Noah goes up. I freak out because I'm like, Noah. I'm like, I still can't believe like that was an actor that I worked with that I had no idea the entire time that he was like making such dark comedy. And he goes up and he fucking nails it, dude. He killed.
Yeah.
Everyone was dying, and I was like, this is amazing. And then he got to the final round. He won. He won the money. It was like I was like just proud to be there, just for a friend.
Proud dad, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good feeling, right? You know someone, and then
Sure.
you see someone
Right.
excel in the thing that they love, and you're like, this is amazing.
Sure.
And then I called him the other day. I'm like, what'd you do with the prize money? He's like, savings. And I'm like, God damn.
smart.
Right? Good head on your shoulders.
Yeah.
So I got to see him. He's great. I love him. He's a good friend. I wish I could work with him more. And then the other friend I have who does comedy, who's more recent, is Alessia Fionda,
Oh, okay.
another actress turned comedian.
Sure.
Local? I don't.
She's
not familiar with
new.
her.
She
But you've heard of her.
I've seen her. I've talked to her. We tried to get her to do a sketch, but she said she was too busy and couldn't do it. So, yeah, I don't have any
Rats.
issues with her. I haven't. But
We'll get him on the next one.
yeah, I don't know her
Maybe
super well.
she'll
She's
reply
like
in
newer.
a year
Maybe that's what. Yeah, that's what it takes.
when she goes through the DMs.
Yeah.
Hey, at least I went through them, right?
There you go.
Yeah, fair.
But no, I mean, so that she started more recently.
Yeah.
And I got to see her perform at this place in Detroit. Oh my God, it's like a hockey bar.
Is it
House of Comedy.
House of
Thank you.
Comedy?
Yeah, there's like a giant hockey bar with like motorcycles.
Right.
There's like an actual nice comedy like dome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Setup.
It used to be an improv stage.
It used to
kind
be
of thing.
Second City, Detroit.
Yeah.
And then
they
died.
recently, Second City, I don't even know.
I think Second.
Yeah,
Does
Second-
Second City still exist?
I have no
I'm
idea.
sure it still exists in Chicago.
Probably in Chicago.
It's
but
like an
definitely not
institution over
here.
there.
Like Tim Robinson and Sam Richardson and like a lot of like Tim Meadows, like a lot of those guys like started at Second City, Detroit. But
So the Michigan film scene is alive and well.
are you asking or telling us?
I'm asking. I mean, I'm not in it per se.
Oh, you said the film scene.
No, the comedian scene.
It depends what you mean by alive and well.
So Tim Robinson is now like an acclaimed filmmaker, right? He just
Sure.
released Friendship.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty good.
I didn't see. I tried to go to the premiere at South by Southwest, but it was a very long line, so I didn't. But
But he's a Michigan guy, right?
he is a
Yeah.
Michigan guy.
So I mean, he started with like I'm assuming stand up,
He started with improv.
He
I
started,
think.
improv.
improv.
Uh-huh.
So he doesn't. Okay, I don't know if he does stand up or not. Then
I don't know if he did. I know for sure he started doing improv, but I don't know about.
He's probably
stand-up.
done some stand up.
Maybe.
you know?
I think a lot of people like either start stand up or improv, and then
At least
Just-
dabble in the
yeah,
other
stick
one.
with
just to
one of
see-
them.
Right, yeah. If one is your bread and butter, and then oftentimes, you'll kind of check out the other one just to kind of like
yeah.
see what it is.
would you guys want to do improv?
You do.
I've
improv,
been doing
yeah.
improv,
Because
actually.
my buddy in Georgia does improv, and he loves it.
Yeah, I started a couple years ago taking the classes at Go Comedy, which is like one of the local, there's basically 2 local theaters that do
Planet Ant.
Planet Ant and then Go Comedy in Ferndale. So I've been taking the classes at Go, and it's a lot of fun. It's very different from stand-up. And it's definitely helped me kind of be more in like a free-flowing state. Whereas stand-up, at least for the first couple years I was doing, I was very scripted, and now I'm trying more and more to go up there with like no real plan anymore. Just go like top of the head and just kind of like
That sounds horrifying.
it's a lot harder, I mean, I think I'm getting better at it, and I'll still go back and like do my
Your
scripted
ace
bits.
material.
Yeah, like I'll still do my material, but I won't go up there with like, this is what I'm gonna do, this one, then that one, and that one. And I'm trying not, because I get too used to like looking at my notes when I'm up there, and I want it to be more, again, just like
I hate that,
flow,
by the way.
flow state, looking at the notes.
I hate it. I've seen comedians do it, and I despise it.
Yeah, some
Yeah.
people don't like
I'll tell
it.
you why. I think it's my theater background. Like I just hate seeing that.
Yeah, I
'Cause
don't like it either.
It anchors the performance.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the person's like trying to. And the first time I saw it in person was there's a comedian who's really blown up recently. He's a New York comedian who has like a musical theater background. I can't remember exactly. He's like a Jewish Italian dude.
Jewish
But-
Italian guy.
I got to see him live.
Who is it?
I can't remember his name.
okay.
Gianna something like Gianni, something like that. He's funny. He's actually
Okay.
really funny. But when I first saw him, before I knew about his content, I saw him in this. I went to New York City and I went to this like bar that was like a basement bar.
Was the cellar?
I think it could have been. It was a small space, dude. It was a very small little bar space.
Okay.
And he performed there. This was before I knew he was on TikTok or Instagram. And he was reading, like, he had like a notepad on a stool. And then he would like joke and he would stop mid joke and he'd go, "Ah," and he would read his notes. And I was like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's kind of gay.
And I was like, did you like not prepare for this? I'm like,
Yeah.
how are you on stage? How do you get, I don't know anything about the comedy world in that
Yeah.
aspect. I know a lot about comedians. I know a lot about bits. I love specials. But I don't know like that side of the culture, the behind, before they become who they end up inevitably being. That
Yeah.
Who were they and how do they get there? Reading notes to me feels like you're just not prepared.
I guess it depends. If it's like at an open mic, I'm more accepting of it than if it's like a paid gig or like a like, cause I don't usually I rarely ever look at my phone when I'm on stage because I try and memorize my stuff and have it in like an order that like the next joke, like the previous joke triggers the next joke. And sometimes if just like I want to do something new, I'll pull out my phone to like remind myself of what I was supposed to say. But that would just be like at New Way, or like if I'm just fucking around, or like some shithole that like no one's at. But if it's like a show, if I'm at Mark Ridley's, I'm not bringing notes. I'm not like doing anything like that.
I will sometimes. Okay, so here's what I try to do. First of all, okay, two different things.
All right.
For a while, I would just always bring it up on stage at the open mics and just kind of look at it. And I think a lot of people kind of do agree with you. I think part of the allure of stand-up is to at least create the illusion that you're just going off the top of your head and just talking. But the truth is, honestly, you can look at your notes, and if you say something funny, like, people are going to laugh.
Yeah.
Like, really, ultimately, that's really what it's about. But like I said, lately, I'm trying to go more and more, like, not looking at my notes and trying to just go, like, stream of consciousness, just top of my head, and talk to the audience more and not use it as a crutch so much. If I have, like a booked paid gig, then I will script it out. And I'll know exactly what I'm going to say and like order it in the right way where like it's flowing. And then even for those, like I'll have a little cheat sheet and I'll have it up there on stage.
Yeah, some people do that
if I need it. But usually I don't really even need it. Like I'll have it there just to glance at if I have to, but
I mean, Mark Norman has his joke book with him, right? It's always in his back pocket. So I can get that.
Yeah.
There's some comedians who are like pretty big and they just basically work it into their act. Like that's just part
Louis
of what they
C.K.
do.
with the Bible, right?
I don't think I've seen that.
His
Bible?
last special.
Oh
He
yeah.
grabs this like pocket Bible.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. He's like, well, let's actually read it.
He's someone I'm wondering if he's starting to turn towards religion, because I'm on his email list and his past few emails have ended with God bless you all. And I know he like I'm part of me is like, is he doing that as a bit, or is he actually starting to lean towards religion?
I mean, dude, right now apparently Joe Rogan is
Joe Rogan, he's going to church.
Dude, everybody's fucking
Everyone
getting into
you.
God lately.
I told Lemon I'm just waiting for you to jump ship of
be a Christian.
Yeah.
I started reading the Bible a year ago, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
I just started
Stopped.
end of last year.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Okay. How's that going for you?
I finished Book of John. We finished it by Easter. So I got...
So you're in like a group? Is it we?
Yeah, I've got my buddy Isaiah and his wife Andrea. They're Christian. And I was like curious about... Like I always ask questions to my friends of all denominations and faiths.
Yeah.
I'm a curious cat, right?
Sure.
And one day they were hanging out with me, and before they went back to Grand Rapids, they handed me a Bible, and they were like, "Listen, no pressure. We love you, and as our friend, we will feel better if we have given this to you, but there's absolutely no pressure, no commitment to it." So I take them like, you know what? That's a very, very sweet gesture. It's a good, sweet gift. Thank you. And they drove off, and as they drove off, I looked in the back of their car, and they had more of these books. I was like, bastards got me. And then I look at this book.
They're on a mission, dude.
Dude, it's hilarious. But, good friends nonetheless. Actually, I was speaking to them before I got here. But eventually we start talking about the Bible. I'm like, you know what, guys? I want to read it. Where should I start? So I'm like, I'm going to just start at the beginning. They're like, no. Don't do that.
You don't start at the beginning. That's what I did.
I was like...
Yeah, you don't start with the Jew portion of it.
They were like, no, that's bad.
Oh, I meant the New Testament.
So they made me start in Book of John, because John was, one of the closest disciples of Jesus, and he kind of details the entire thing from start to finish. All like the big notes are hit. So we read Book of John, and I really enjoyed it. I'll say what so far. John is a very relatable historical figure.
Okay.
He was 15 at the time. It's not said in the Bible, but when you look at the scholars who then have like deciphered these scrolls, John was about 15, 16 years old, which makes so much sense with how he refers to himself in the scripture. I kept reading the line, God's favorite disciple, And I was like, what? Who's he referring to? And my friends were like, dude, that's John. He refers to himself as God's favorite disciple. I'm like, that's so tacky, bro. That's what a total pick-me girl, right? And then he has this line towards the end when Jesus gets crucified and put in the tomb. He recites the story of him and Peter running to the tomb. And he makes a very clear point of saying one disciple was faster than the other, referring that he beat Peter to the tomb. He's like, just so you know, like I did get there first. I'm like, that's such a 15-year-old.
That's the most 15-year-old shit I've ever heard.
Amazing. So I'm like, oh, I completely underestimated the Bible. Like, this is awesome.
So what religion were you prior to that?
I was born Catholic.
Okay.
But you see, growing up in the Portuguese community that I did, the Bible was scripture was normally read in Portuguese.
Okay.
And I'm not fluent in it.
Sure.
So I can kind of
Neither
understand it.
Yeah.
So you understand.
Understandably.
Right.
Yeah.
But then also, like when I did catechism, they would read to us in English. But as a kid, I'm not gonna lie, dude, the Bible's hard as a kid.
Sure.
I commend children who love reading the Bible,
Yeah.
but I was not one of them. Like, I did not have fun with that.
understandable.
I did like the movies, though. That cartoon, Prince of Egypt, about Moses, fire.
That's a good one.
It's a great one.
Yeah.
It's a Jewish classic. Well, that one's almost, everyone relates to that because everyone fucks with Moses, basically.
Yeah.
Dude, Moses is the shit.
Yeah.
That is
Jews, the Muzzies, everyone.
Yeah.
Now we just started the Old Testament because we finished Book of John. Like, now you know who Jesus is. We're gonna go back and start from the beginning.
Okay.
Isn't Matthew the first book in the New Testament?
Yes, I believe so.
Matthew, Mark, Luke,
That's the one that starts with this one beget that one, beget that one, beget that, right?
Oh, you're talking about like the father son thing.
The very beginning of the New Testament.
Yeah, I don't know who. I'm not. Listen, I'm not a great Catholic.
I thought you were.
Wait, you're a Catholic?
Yeah.
Practicing?
Yeah. Chaldean Catholic. So it's like,
I thought you like study the Bible and shit. No, you don't. You just fuck with God. You're just like.
I go to church and I like being Catholic, but I'm not good at it yet. Okay. It's one of those things, where it's like,
are you a better podcaster or a Catholic?
I'm like,
awesome.
It's one of those things I'm gonna get better at it, like when I'm older. Because I noticed your ring, the Cross of Jerusalem. I have it tatted on me.
So that's what that is, huh?
Yeah.
I'm just messing.
I've got family in Jerusalem.
Yeah, this was a gift from my uncle in Europe. He gave this ring to me, and
it's pretty dope.
Yeah, I dig it.
Make it like a cool imprint, like if you.
It's funny. I thought that too. And then he told me, I don't know if you know anything about Europeans, but they're hyper violent people.
Sure.
He was like, you got to wear it like this, and I was like, how come? He's like, so someone talks back to you, you can smack him with the hand of God.
Oh, okay. So he was thinking the other way.
I was like, whoa, bro.
Yeah.
Chill out, uncle.
It's pretty baller.
Yeah, he's a tough dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I just remember the story. He was like, what do you guys call it? Barbecuing chicken, right? So he had like a fire going, and he had the chicken mounted with this metal clamp. And I watched him with his bare hand just grab this raw metal and flip the chicken. And
pretty
he went,
dope.
He's like, ah. I was like, who are you trying to impress, bro? You're like in your late 50s. You don't have to impress any of us.
Yeah.
This dude just got a 3rd-degree burn in his hand to try to look baller at the cookout.
That's pretty awesome.
No, it's not.
Mad respect for that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I do respect that.
I want to circle back to the comedy thing.
Sure.
Because you said something about a paid gig. Have you guys gotten paid gigs for?
Oh yeah, tons.
Yeah.
Really? How does that work?
It's not a lot. It's not.
There's different levels.
Put it this way:
Yeah.
you make $5 to tell jokes to people. I'm like, that's still more than getting paid nothing. Right?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that hard to find a place someone's booking like a show for $20.
Yeah.
You do like, I don't know, 10 minutes.
Truthfully, yeah. You having never done like stand up before, if you just went on Facebook and was like any paid gigs, you'd probably get something.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the first of all, it's not going to be at like a club.
They're not quality shows. They're not always going to be like the best show.
Most of those shows is honestly not super different from like an open mic. The way we described it is, again, it's just a comic who goes to a bar, like, hey, I'll put together a comedy show.
The venue either gives them cash or they have tickets or they're paying out of pocket. So.
Yeah. So they can do that as an open mic where anybody can sign up, or they'd be like, I'm doing a showcase where it's going to be 4 or 5 people who are doing longer sets and they get paid for it. And that's usually a better show.
Yeah.
Do you guys enjoy those?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
Because it's the difference with an open mic is that like these people are actually coming to watch comedy. Is if you're paying to see comedy, you're gonna enjoy it more than if you're begrudgingly going because you want to try out new material. Like,
Right, an open
just the
mic,
audiences is different.
an open mic, a lot of the audience is the other comics,
Yeah.
and it's a lot of people who just wanted to go to the bar and they didn't realize there was a comedy show, so they're gonna
Yeah.
be talking to their friends the whole time. So you have to like compete with that noise.
Or they're like watching the game or something.
Right, or there might be a game on.
Yeah.
But if it's a showcase,
Dude, competing with the Lions must be tough.
It is.
they
That's why
don't-
they usually
if the Lions are on TV, they won't have.
They cancel the mics.
Go
Yeah.
into full fucking Vietnam vet mode.
They,
bro.
no, because I
Jared
I
Goff.
missed that one.
fucking earlier this year at New Way, I was the next person, and then the Lions game started, and Paulie told me like, all right, we're gonna pause for the Lions game. It didn't end until after midnight, so
Dude, that sucks.
I was so fucking pissed because I was the next person up.
Man, I hit a soft spot. I'm sorry.
No,
That's
it's
on
all
my
right.
bad.
It's all right.
Yeah, you don't even really watch football, huh?
I know I don't watch football, so I went to Chipotle and I was just working on videos until they closed, and then I got back and it was still going. I was so fucking pissed.
So okay, what is?
Yeah.
Do you guys? Are you comfortable telling me like what's the most you've made doing these paid gigs? Clandestine operation.
I mean, I did a weekend at One Night Stands a couple months ago. I made $200 for
Dude,
that
that's
weekend.
sick.
I did. I think I got paid $300 for a weekend at Ridley's,
Okay, yeah.
and then. But honestly, probably the most bang for my buck I've ever made was like $80 cash for like 10 minutes.
I was about to say, what is the duration?
Oh, I made $100 for 10 minutes at Stingers.
Okay,
Yeah,
well, I got to get on that fucking Stinger show.
yeah. You gotta talk to Mal, dude.
He said he was trying to get me out.
Yeah.
And how do you
he says
guys
a lot of
get
shit.
these things going? Do you just go meet the person who you said the person who owns that territory? Do you go to that?
Yeah, you just talk to whoever
Yeah.
books it.
Just whoever books it, or you're not gonna get something on your first try, but if you just like keep hitting someone up, or if someone has seen you and they like you, like
Word of mouth carries.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm assuming.
And at some point, if you're good enough, then you build like a reputation in the scene. Like, people know who you are.
Yeah.
Everybody knows who Josh Adams is locally.
Sorry.
Well, if you're, I mean, again,
Yeah.
if you're in the scene,
outside of comedy, maybe.
you know
Killer?
who he is.
Drop
He's
that.
very,
yeah,
very
he's
funny.
he's the biggest guy in Detroit. So
Yeah. Well, unless you count Sam Tallent now.
that's true. Friend of the show, Sam.
Yeah, big friend of the show.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Do you know who Sam Tallent is?
No.
So Sam Tallent is how big would you say Sam? Like he's been on Joe
He's-
Rogan a couple
yeah.
times.
You've had him here.
Not here at the old
previous
studio.
studio.
Oh, I
Yeah.
was like, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's like
He's like the circle, the Rogan sphere, as we've called it. If like Joe Rogan is at the center, Shane Gillis is like outside of that, and then Sam Tallent is like outside of
the
that.
next level. So he like
I don't
Yeah.
know who
he
this
like
is.
knows all those people and they know him.
And he's
Wait,
been on all their
he's got black
podcasts.
curly hair. Is that the right? is
No,
I
he's
don't
kind of
think
balding.
so. Yeah, kind of bald. He's a big dude.
Big
He just
guy.
moved to Detroit.
Yeah.
that, hold on. Let me.
So he moved to Detroit last summer and he does a show in
What's this dude's name?
Sam Tallent.
Sam Tallent.
Yeah. So, I mean, you referenced the Planet Ant earlier. So the Planet Ant also has a stand-up
This guy.
mic.
Yeah.
Well, that's an old picture.
that's an old
That's
picture
not what
of
he
him.
looks like anymore. So there's a stand-up club in the same building as Planet Ant, and he does a show there. Not every Wednesday, but a lot of Wednesdays, and it's like people go to see him, and he's really funny, really nice guy. And so Joseph reached out, and we did an episode with him. It was a lot of fun.
Dude, that's sick.
Yeah, it was probably that. That's when we peaked. It's been all downhill since then.
Oh, thanks.
No, but
Count myself as one of the last.
no, it's all good. It's I think that was one of the episodes that really kind of
Since that one just dead.
That one we don't have to worry about. But the other two are good.
yeah, the fact that we could sit and do a podcast with him, like that was one of those moments where it's like, oh, I think we're actually like doing something here, you
Yeah.
know, like because he's legit. I mean, again, he's been on Joe Rogan a couple times.
He moved to Detroit. He's not from Detroit.
No,
His
he's from
wife
Colorado.
is from Detroit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, they all sound like they're moving to Texas, right? All the comedians.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Austin is like the comedy
the new
hub of
hub.
the world.
Dude.
Yeah,
dude.
I still haven't been to Austin. I gotta go down there.
Yeah.
And if you guys wanted to go down there and like do stand up, would it be you just find open mic nights down there?
Yeah, that's pretty much what it
Yeah,
is.
there's-
We have some connections down in Austin. So, like I went a couple months ago. We have a friend, Mason. He set me up with a couple open mics, and then I met a few people there. And so but I only went for a weekend. So I just did open mics and then Kill Tony. And then
You did Kill Tony?
Well, I didn't do Kill. I signed up for
Whoa,
Kill
I
Tony.
was like, whoa.
Yeah. No.
We know a couple people who've been on there.
Yeah.
That's
We hate Kill Tony on this show. So yeah, we don't respect Kill Tony. Even though I signed up for it, we don't respect Kill Tony.
Is that why? Is it like a
Well,
soft
I
spot?
don't-
Nah.
You didn't
What do you
make
mean
it?
we?
We
Joseph
as
doesn't
yeah.
respect Kill Tony.
We've had we talk a lot of shit about some of the Kill Tony comedians, and then we get a lot of comments and a lot of thumbs down on those episodes in particular because people are they're big fan, especially like Cam Patterson. We posted a clip talking shit about him, and then
The
people
cult
didn't like
following
that.
is kind of
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Laser, we talk shit about him, and people didn't like that. So it's just,
I have no strong feelings on Kill Tony. I tried to watch it. I think it's different live. Like trying to watch it as like a recorded thing.
yeah,
I
it's
can't do
definitely
it.
one of those things you would have to.
I don't really watch it,
Experience
to be perfectly honest.
I don't watch it either.
So, I don't know. I'll see.
I
see a
truthfully don't
clip
care
every
for it.
now and
I
then.
just
Joe's
thought
like,
that
I hate it. I despise it. Never seen it.
truthfully, I was like, if I get on Kill Tony, that's literally where I would be able to promote the podcast like to my target audience. There's no other better platform. So that's the only reason I signed up for it. And I knew that I would do well if I went on to Kill Tony. But aside from that, I have no interest in doing anything like Kill Tony related.
You've been to Austin?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was cool. It was a cool city. It was a lot of, shit to do. It was a lot of weirdos, a lot of homeless, but I mean, it's like whatever.
Do you guys have like milestones or like goals you want to achieve as comedians?
That's a good question. For me, not really. I probably should have some.
Yeah, you should. You should
Cool.
start getting some, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's mandatory. I'm
I'm
just
at that
assuming
point.
because I know, for example,
Oh, you should have goals for everything in your life.
Andrew Schultz.
Uh-huh.
One of his goals was to do Madison Square Garden.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a big Schultz fan.
Yeah.
And I got to see him do that. I was like, oh, that's sick.
Yeah. I don't think arenas are the best atmosphere for comedy. I've been to a few arena shows and it's not
It's too big.
too big, too hard to like. And then for the comedian, there's more people. It's less intimate. You have to like appease, especially like if you're in the center and you have like all the people around you, it's just not good. I don't anticipate, I don't think if I were in that position, I probably wouldn't strive for being arena act. My goal right now with comedy is just to make a special. But I'm still like a number of years away from that. It's going to be a while.
Why does it feel like it's years away? What gives you that feeling?
I need to have more material. I have probably 20 solid minutes right now. And probably some filler. Like if I needed to do 30 minutes, I probably could. But if you want to do like an hour long special, I would want it to be my best material. So I just need to give it more time and build a stronger audience so that way people would actually want to pay to come see me headline.
Matt, you want to do a special?
I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, we've been talking about it.
We've been talking about it. I'd say I have enough material for it. I'm trying to put together 40 minutes. I did 20 at Ridley's, so
Yeah.
if I do that plus add another 20 to it, I could probably put out a special right now, like a 40-minute
Yeah.
special.
Is that like the best way to start? Like a good solid 40 minutes? Put that on YouTube. See what
Probably.
happens.
It's not
Yeah.
impossible. We have a lot of friends who've been putting out specials lately. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of
Noah put out a special. His special was kind of weird because there was no audience, but his
Noah would do it.
Noah, I love
Because he
you.
killed and fucked them all.
Yeah.
I hope you're watching, dude. I hope you're watching.
It was weird because I remember when he told me about it. it was zero audience. Like it was a completely empty theater, and he was doing stand up. I think he said it was during COVID, and he thought it'd be funny if there was no audience.
Where did he do it?
I think at Planet Ant, at one of the Planet Ants. I don't remember.
Have you guys seen Noah's art?
Yeah,
His drawings,
his
yes.
sex art. Yeah,
He's a very, very talented young man.
Noah's just what a lovely dude.
Yeah.
It's just again, you meet him and then you see him perform, and it's just two different human beings.
Yeah.
It's so trippy.
Yeah. Interesting.
Well, I mean, no, I'm interested.
Yeah.
I definitely. So I'll tell you, based off those experiences, the 3 ones I told you, the Chandler Center, which is the name of that church that I did my first thing, the breakup story, and then
That's mine.
no, that's his
That
one.
was like-
Yeah,
and then that Moth where I told the story of my breakup.
yeah.
I have a lot of respect for stand-up comedy, and I enjoy it a lot. I've watched it a lot.
Uh-huh.
I definitely would love to try it. I
Do
wouldn't
you have
know.
any jokes?
I don't know if I have a specific jokes. I have stories that I've told.
Here's
that
what I'll
feel-
say. A lot of people just trying stand up will try to tell like a long story like that.
Does it just die?
Kind of.
Yeah,
If you want to tell a long story like that, it's a lot harder than telling jokes. Because with stand up, especially like open mic stand up, like you got to get them to laugh
Quick.
quickly and basically every like 30 seconds, at least to a minute, you know? And
Does the laughter sort of work like dominoes? Like once it
Yes.
gets going, it
yeah.
absolutely.
If you have a
it's
story
momentum thing.
with just a bunch of mini punchlines,
Yes.
you'd have to like,
space them.
You have to,
correctly.
okay.
Yeah.
If you're going to tell a story, number one, don't jump right into the story. You got to get at least a couple laughs as soon as you get up there because they're not invested. And to get them laughing, and then the story has to have punchlines embedded in it so that they stay. It's kind of like,
You're encouraging them that there's more coming.
sort of, but how do you describe?
it's like a retention thing. You keep them going because the big punchline is going to come at the end, and you want to lead them towards that big punchline.
Think about it like this. Think about like maybe this analogy doesn't work, but like a car stuck in the mud, right? And you push it and you get like a little bit of movement. You know what I mean? And then it rocks back, and then you push and you get a little bit more, and then it like you can keep
Eventually.
right, and then eventually it goes. You know what I mean?
I was wondering where you were going with that metaphor, but that was a perfect analogy.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah,
So
He
it's
did
like
it, guys.
you gotta right.
Nailed
he
it.
did it.
You can't just assume you're gonna get in there and just start driving. You gotta like get it, and then once you're going, they just kind of like follow your lead. You know what I mean?
I mean, that makes a lot of sense because the buddy I said in Georgia who did those comedy classes, the first activities or exercises was they had to write 10 punchlines. And he said that was one of the hardest things he's ever done. He was like, just trying to think of 10 punchlines. And
Yeah, just
like
thinking of a punchline alone.
Yeah,
brutal.
I don't even know how I would do that. It's all
Bazinga.
what am I trying to communicate?
there you go. That's one.
So I mean, I don't have like jokes. I have stories that have worked, but I also wouldn't know how to. I'd have to really think about condensing them because you don't want to tell a long-winded story for no point. You want it to almost go somewhere. So like it's something that I think I would have to at least sit down and I'd have to write and I would have to say it and probably time it, maybe record myself, listen to it, see how I feel.
Yeah.
But I'd be down to try like an open mic.
Well, I'll
night.
tell you what. What time is it?
got an
7:30.
open mic tonight?
Yeah, you go. Yeah, I have 1.5 hours to come up with a story, and then we'll go to an open mic, and then
What time is the open mic night?
9. It's in Detroit.
Wait, I was thinking Roadhouse.
Tony V's. Oh, is Roadhouse tonight?
Whoa.
Tonight.
Am I ready for this? What
Not ready for
what
it?
have I done?
What area are you coming from?
wait, what do you say? What area?
Area.
Yeah.
I live in Taylor.
Taylor.
That's probably
so there's
closer to
one in
Roadhouse.
Livonia.
Yeah.
That's
So
actually.
you
where
guys are going there right now tonight?
I'm gonna go. Yeah.
I was probably going to go to Tony V's, but
Oh yeah, I'm going to Roadhouse.
There's two different places. You're going to two separate places.
yeah, seems like it. I don't like Roadhouse is too far for me.
Tony V's closer.
Slightly closer. Tony V's is like 20 minutes from my apartment. Roadhouse is probably like closer to 40.
From here.
No, from my
What's
apartment.
closer to Taylor?
I don't know. I don't know where Taylor is.
Taylor's downriver. It's by Allen Park, and
Tony V's might be closer, but then I don't know where anything is like outside of this area.
well, let me type in one. Let's see. What is it?
Tony V's. See where Tony V's is.
Just TONYV.
Yeah, Tony space V apostrophe S. Yep. It's in Midtown Detroit.
Yeah, I guess Detroit is closer.
That one is not too far. See, like there's Taylor.
Yeah.
Oh, but that starts at 9?
That starts at 9.
That's
Oh,
Taylor.
Roadhouse starts at 8.
Tony V's, and then where's your other?
Roadhouse is in Plymouth Roadhouse. Or I think they dropped the Plymouth. I think it's just Roadhouse now.
Oh, is it?
I don't know.
I just see a bunch of Texas Roadhouse.
Type Plymouth Roadhouse. And
Yeah,
that's
maybe.
in Livonia.
God, Plymouth. PLY. Right?
Yeah,
PLY mouth.
OUTH.
Yeah, I'm like insanely dyslexic. Yeah, how long have we been going for? How long do you guys normally go for?
We normally go for about an hour. We hit an hour.
Hour to an hour and a half.
Oh yeah, that's way further for me. No, that's actually not. Both of them are like maybe.
Equidistant?
Yeah, I was like trying to think of what the word is, and it is
Yeah,
equidistant.
there it is.
What a strange term.
It is a strange word.
We literally nailed that. That is
Yeah.
the perfect term for that. Equidistant.
You killed it. You get a gold star, Joseph.
Thank you.
As a first timer, what should I try then? What do we
I've never been to Tony V's.
Tony V's, it's not bad. It's better set up for because they have an actual stage and it's like portioned out so that way it's that SD card.
Our cameras are all dying.
Yeah, fuck.
So we're down to one.
Yeah, we're down to one.
And I'm not.
That's all right. We're
I'm about to
close
wrap
to the
it
end,
up.
anyways.
I think it was good. I think we had
Yeah.
a.
Do you want to promote anything?
Yeah, why don't we can just vlog this. Hold on. Just grab the camera and vlog it, right?
Could do that.
Sure.
I'm assuming this is clipped on pretty good.
Yeah.
Hello. I really enjoyed my. There we go. I think
Oh, yeah, you can flip that.
I really enjoyed my time here on the. You said P Boiz?
The P Boiz, yeah.
Yes.
The P Boiz podcast. My name is Keanu Sousa Mendes. This was fun.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
In terms of promoting,
It was fun.
When do you guys release this?
This will be out in two Mondays from now.
2 Mondays from now. I'm sure I'll have something on social media.
There you go. Follow him at his social media. It's linked
Do you
below.
type it or is it a link?
It's going to be linked below, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I'm trying stand up tonight. Who knows?
Yes.
P Boiz
We'll see you.
Yeah.
We'll fill you guys in.
Peace.
All right, big peace.
You guys hit stop recording.
Yeah, just
Back on the P Boiz. Back on the